Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so there's been just incredible buzz around what people are calling the most exciting game of 2026.
Right, 007, First Light, from IO Interactive.
Exactly. The Hitman guys. Which, immediately raised that big question, didn't it? For studios so focused on meticulous stealth.
Yeah, like methodical is the word.
Could they really pull off James Bond? The explosions, the action, that whole cinematic feel.
That's precisely the tightrope they're walking. When IO first announced this, that challenge was clear. How do you adapt that Hitman DNA to an icon like Bond?
So that's our mission for this deep dive, right? To really unpack why, based on what we've seen lately, it looks like they might actually be nailing it.
Yeah, it seems like they're creating something genuinely special, not just pulling it off.
What I find fascinating is how they're blending the two styles, stealth and action. You'd think they might clash.
You would. But they seem to be integrating them really seamlessly.
So how does that work?
Right.
Especially on the stealth side. What's the IO touch there?
Well, the stealth definitely plays to their strengths. They call it a creative approach for missions.
Okay.
Think large, open-ended sandboxes. Very Hitman, like you said. But it's more than just big levels.
Right.
It's about how Bond operates within them. You're encouraged to gather intel, maybe eavesdrop on conversations.
Pickpocketing keys, finding clues in the environment, that sort of thing.
Exactly. You become the architect of your own spying, really. Setting things up. That gives you so much agency. Makes you feel like a proper spy.
Okay, that sounds very IO. But what about the action? Does that methodical approach mean we lose the Bond spectacle, the big moments?
Not from what we've seen. They're definitely not shying away from it. The previews showed some pretty breathtaking stuff.
Okay.
High-speed car chases, yes, and a vintage Aston Martin, of course.
Yeah.
Big, chaotic shootouts. And the hand-to-hand combat looks really dynamic.
Fluid.
Very fluid is how they describe it. Switching between precise gunplay and, quite visceral melee combat seems really smooth. It looks like it supports that cinematic feel.
And that kind of ties into the narrative choice, doesn't it? This whole origin story idea. A younger Bond.
Yeah, focusing on a younger, maybe less experienced, sometimes even reckless Bond. It's a smart angle.
How does that feed into the gameplay mechanics?
Well, take the license to kill mechanic. It's brilliant, actually.
Oh yeah, how so?
It's not just handed to you. You kind of have to earn it situationally. Lethal force is only okay after an enemy escalates things.
So it forces you to be more tactical. Maybe try stealth first.
Exactly. It ties directly into Bond developing his sort of moral compass. It's quite a statement for a character often just seen as, immediately lethal.
That is interesting. And what about the instinct mechanic? Is that like Hitman's?
Similar name, but it sounds different here. It's a limited resource. You can use it to try and bluff your way out of trouble.
Okay.
Or maybe get an edge in a fight. It reflects Bond's quick thinking, his adaptability, but maybe more like raw talent than years of experience.
Gotcha. So it really sounds like this is much more than just Hitman with a Bond paint job.
Definitely. IO keeps saying it's a complete 360-degree Bond experience.
What does that actually mean, though, for us playing it?
It means they're aiming for authenticity across everything, not just combat or stealth,
right?
But making sure the gadgets feel right, the social elements, talking your way past guards, manipulating situations.
Social espionage.
Yeah, it needs to be meaningful. The driving, the iconic locations, maybe even Bond's own internal struggles. It's all meant to be part of one cohesive whole.
And built from scratch, new systems.
Yeah, they've emphasized new animation, new combat systems, even new music systems, all designed specifically to capture that Bond essence, not just reused assets.
Okay, I'm sold. When can we actually play this?
There's a confirmed date, March 27, 2026.
March 2026. Okay.
And platforms.
PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and interestingly, the Nintendo Switch 2.
Wow, Switch 2 as well. That's ambitious for a game that sounds this complex. It really is. It suggests they've done some serious optimization work, or maybe have a clever way to scale it. But it shows they want this on, pretty much everything.
Reaching everyone. It definitely sounds like it's aiming to deliver both that thoughtful spy adventure and the blockbuster action.
That's the promise. A really fresh, dynamic take on Bond, blending those elements in a way we maybe haven't quite seen before.
It sounds like a genuinely bold reimagining.
Yeah, I think so.
So wrapping up, it really makes you think. If this game focuses so much on a younger, less polished Bond, and mechanics tied to his developing morality. What new aspects of his character, his choices, his development might you, the player, actually get to influence for the very first time? Something to mull over until 2026.